right, let's do this is the advice.
Oh,
This is the advice podcast.
It is.
Your mama's favorite podcast.
I was just thinking about renaming us just Advice with Kyle, Kelly, and Raysean. But you know what? That day hasn't come yet. Well, instead, we're just going to do an r/no stupid questions.
Okay.
Anyone who lives alone, do you talk to yourself out loud? My wife and son are on vacation for the week, and it's the first time I haven't heard either of them around me. I find myself talking out loud while at home. Sometimes I'm narrating what I'm doing or answering questions that I ask myself. Just anything to break the silence of being alone. Okay.
Neither of you live alone, do you?
No, but man, do I long for the fucking days I used to live alone. Yeah. Definitely feel you know, I would go back to that whole being bored and talking to yourself thing. You know, have that be the sacrifice for living alone. But I
Did
totally
you talk to yourself? Yeah.
Still do.
I talk to myself all the time, man.
Same.
I tell jokes to myself, and that's the craziest thing in the world. Because people be like, "Why are you laughing?"
Funny.
And I'll be like, "Man, if you just knew what I just came up with." But HR, it's just, I always say that. I'll be like, HR. If I could tell you, I would, man. But I talk to myself a lot because a lot of my creativity comes in my head when. Like I'm doing other shit, especially when I'm smoking. That's when I definitely talk to myself.
Why wouldn't I consult the realest motherfucker I know?
That's funny.
I feel like I sometimes certain thoughts, like I have to say them out loud for me to like fully think them. Even, you know what I mean?
Like you just
when they stay in my head.
You think about them a different way versus like when you hear them in your internal monologue versus like hearing them out loud with actual words.
Right.
Yeah.
They feel like finally they're like, there they are. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, that is what I was thinking, which is weird. Do you think of yourself as like like when you're thinking about yourself or you're talking to yourself or whatever, do you say like I this, I that, or do you say like you, or do you say we?
Oh, like what do I refer to myself as?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man.
I definitely say we.
I definitely say we too.
We. I'm always like, all right, let's.
I think I do when I'm betting my conscience, because I think I bet my conscience a lot.
What do you mean you betting your conscience? You're like going back and forth on whether something's right or wrong?
That or it just be like random things.
Actually bets.
Yeah.
So I feel like $50, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I think I owe my conscience like about $1 million. But I don't think it's ever gonna see it. But yeah. Just figure out who right or wrong. He'd be right more than me, but you know.
I mean, I feel like there are definitely benefits to talking things out loud to yourself. But
let you think it through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people just rash on the moment. That's how I always be able to outthink people. I just be sitting there like, what the fuck are you even talking about? I feel like I always have my own monologue when people talking to me. I'll be like, are you serious?
But you're not always saying it out loud, right? So like, when you do, well, like if I'm by myself, presumably in the house alone, or I'm living back by myself or whatever, if I'm thinking some shit out when I'm talking it out loud, there are benefits to that. However, all of those benefits instantly go away the moment another person overhears me and they're like, that crazy motherfucker talks to himself. And I'm like, no, I'm not that crazy. It just helps me think. And then I don't feel like I have any of the benefits. I have all of the stigma of being a crazy person. So, you know, good with the bet.
But see, I feel like that whole, like, the crazy talking to themselves is different than, like, the normal talk to yourself. I don't know. To me, I guess how I picture it, because it's like they're, like, fighting and arguing with themselves. Like, I'm just like, you know, shit, I wish I could have did this today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a difference.
I kind of argue with myself a little bit. Like, the thing is that my talking out loud is not always just like me voicing a thought to like process it better. I sometimes just talk out loud like this person's saying, just to like have, just to be talking. Like, I'm home alone very frequently, and I narrate what I'm doing. I just pretend I'm hosting a show and like everyone's watching me like a secret audience.
That's different.
Like tutorials.
That's different.
For myself, to myself.
That's way different than the stuff I'm talking about.
Okay, well, that's what I do. I also do the stuff that you're saying. Like, I do say thoughts out loud because it helps. But I'm also like, well, we're gonna make some minestrone soup today, so we should get the cutting board out so that we can chop up this asparagus finely to put into the soup. Like I will just like
I feel like I would do that if I was live. I don't know if I would like normally narrate. I don't know if I don't think I never nor most of the time in my head, like I'm in Naruto or Dragon Ball or like I'm an anime character. I'm crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? In your head, you're in Naruto or Dragon Ball. What do you mean by that?
I'm like isekai'd out in my mind. I'm not here. I just live.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. I guess anime is rotting all of our brains in one way or another. Some to like a higher degree than the others, but you know, getting through things, that's the important part.
Whatever gets you through. Whatever makes it to the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you know, fuck the quiet. Fuck quiet.
I feel like everyone talks out loud to themselves at least a little bit.
I did it a lot as a child. Like, talk to myself constantly as a child. Full on, like, would just play imaginary games by myself as a child and narrate them all out.
Yeah. Not even with, like, an imaginary friend, just like...
Oh, no, that's all I had was imaginary friends, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, damn. I didn't know what was going there. Never mind.
Yeah, reserve comment, Raysean. Let's get the fuck on to the next one.
All right, you guys, true off my chest. Found out I'm 30 female, married to a furry 30 male.
A furious furry.
Fury. I did what everyone says not to do. I went through his phone. We have been having some issues, and I genuinely noticed how into his phone he's been. So last night, when he was in the shower, I picked up his phone and found multiple secret social media pages in furry pride, sharing photos/porn, and all of it cartoons of animals. I'm obviously not into this. It's fine for other people, but sexualizing animals grosses me out. And now my husband, I question my attraction to him now. I just can't wrap my head around this. I'm deeply disturbed. I don't even think it's valid to bring up to him because I was snooping, but it doesn't change how I feel. I did not find any direct evidence of cheating. However, my husband is in a race messages kind of guy. I went into one of the social messages and saw 2 hi messages and nothing else. Makes me think that the rest was deleted.
So the thing that I like about this is, one, an excuse to talk about furries, and two,
I love that.
No real ask for advice. Like, this woman's just like, this is what I'm dealing with. I don't know how else to handle what I've learned.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of those furry things can be scary as fuck. So if I just happen to walk in on one, I probably would divorce my wife too.
As a man who 18 months ago did not know what a furry was, you've since learned what they are thanks to us making this podcast, and now you're very aware. Unfortunately, probably sometimes too aware. Yeah.
But I mean, they're still creepy. And just imagine if I didn't learn what they were and I just think, bro, those things look so creepy because they look realistic, but they just creepy looking things. I can understand the whole kind of being a little suspicious of your husband. It's like, why are you even hiding this? You could have probably said something. Now you get the whole thoughts of now it's a little bit more than what it is. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he could be just dressing up like a wolf with his friends and going out at night. And I don't know what they're doing, but it leaves a lot to the imagination. But I'll just say personally to myself, if it was something I just like walked into, I feel like it probably would scare the shit out of me, especially if you were running towards me. Oh, you probably get killed.
Right.
So like, so she does some deep snooping on his phone. She realizes that he's got this furry thing, and like maybe she doesn't realize how long it's been going on. Like she just found out about it a couple weeks ago. In reality, it's been going on for the last 6 months, a year.
Yeah, I doubt that this is like a new.
I'll ask if he was ashamed, because I'll have to say something because I figured it out. So like, I mean, I gotta say something. I couldn't hold it in.
I'd say on some level he must be.
I'd be like,
so obviously he must be.
What's going on? Or you doing some freaky dinky shit? Like, why is it a hole cut out in the back? I don't understand this. It's a lot of questions.
It's called a YIF suit, Raysean. Don't be ignorant. A YIF suit is one of the suits that you fuck in. But my question is,
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Really? I'm pretty sure I gave you that lesson on the last time we talked about.
Yeah, they have like a display suit for like outings where they're showing off how like great their suit is, and then they have a suit for when they're just like horny.
When they're fucking, and it's called a YIF suit. Anyway,
do you ever see the real person, or are they supposed to like go in the back and change? Or
I mean, it depends.
I kind of think it's like, so I think it's kind of like how in BDSM it's like a scene. Like if you're into BDSM at all, like you do a scene with the person that you're with, and so there's very much so a start to the scene, and then there's very much so an end to the scene, and then once the scene is over, you guys are no longer in those roles, and that's when you're like yourself again. I think it's like that. So I think that like when you're at the event or whatever, it's like a scene, so you're very much so the character that you're playing. But I mean, if this is a person you've met and you guys hit it off or whatever, and you want to meet up in real life or whatever, then yeah, you would meet up with these people outside of your suit and be yourself. But I think it's.
I'm talking about like you said, like you got the out suit, like I'm out partying. Oh, now I want to fuck. Do I just change the suit in front of the person, or do I go in the bathroom and change the suit and then come back out? Like
Kelly is the resident furry expert on all this. Go ahead, Kelly. Continue to explain.
Quite a bit about like kink positivity. I think that if you're going to an event where you feel like you're trying to hook up with someone, you would purposely wear the suit that you would be using for that.
But
I don't know if people would bring both suits. I think that the one suit for display is very much so to like make friends, and like connections to see, and then like maybe you would link up later in your other suit.
Do you think this would be weird if this was a more public thing? Like if you went to Walmart?
It's a pretty public thing.
It's pretty public, yeah.
It's pretty public. They have conventions. People are out and about.
I mean, like regularly, I've never seen like someone at like the grocery store dressed like.
It's a little bit different.
I think it depends a little bit on where you live.
A suit has a place and a purpose. Okay, so Kelly was halfway there. I let her go just because I wanted to see what she thought about it. Let me tell you how it actually works. And I know this from my own personal experience, but because I've had a furry in my life for a very long time, and I've had to hear way too much about it from him at certain points in my life. So they have like the out suit, right? That they go out and like do conventions with, they go to social outings with, and that's like usually a good amount of money, and it's a very cool like original character they design and do all the art for or whatever. Shit costs money, right? So there's a person who will do exactly what Kelly said. They'll wear it to a convention or an outing. They'll meet somebody, and if they have an interest in one another, they'll hang out with each other. And by hang out, I mean do some physical kind of fuck stuff outside of the suits. All right. So that's like the one sect of furry. But then there's the sect of furry who will have one of those like out in public presentation suits, and they'll meet somebody and they really like the suit, you know what I mean? But they might have a different suit to do sexual things in. And that is called the yiffing suit. Yiffing is in reference to a sound that they make while it happens. So this is all I'm saying is sometimes somebody...
That's what they're saying?
Don't do it.
Hey, Raysean, it sounds like you're speaking from a place of experience. Calm down before you get mistaken for a furry. But there is some people who would do exactly what you said, right? They'd like go get in their fuck suit and they get rid of the good, not get rid of, but like take off the other suit, put it away in like the storage bins they have for it, put on their fucking suit, and then they go do it. I imagine this dude, given that he's a married man, all right, this is what I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I bet you he somehow fell into the hobby or was curious about the hobby, decided or discovered he liked it. And he, maybe is toying around with the idea of getting like a a suit to go to conventions or something, and is probably, hopefully looking at it as more of a social thing. Like he's married with a wife at home, right? However, just because he has no intention of getting sexual with other people that he meets does not make him feel any less embarrassed to open up to his wife about this weird fucking development in his life in their early 30s. So I don't know, dude. I feel bad for this girl because obviously the benefit of the doubt is seldom given because it is seldom deserved. I bet you this dude's trying to get his dick wet in some fucking fox bussy or some shit, but I said what I said.
You just said that.
I said what I said.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If this were you, do you think that you could like make the relationship work? Like if your spouse, you found out your spouse.
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally. If you
oh
found
wait,
out
the spouse is the furry?
Yeah, if you found
I'm
out your
not the furry.
spouse was into it.
Maybe it would depend on it would depend on their level of interest in it. Like I said, if it's like that social thing where they're like bored and lonely for a circle of friends, that they found some sense of community in this place that I never would have expected them to get it. Maybe we can make that work. But if they've thrown themselves headfirst into this community because they're trying to get their asshole ate, like probably not great grounds for the continuation of our marriage.
On the couch, meow.
Yeah,
meow.
Like, take a dump in the litter box. Go back to watching the nanny on TV.
Actually,
I'm so sorry, but have you guys seen that man who bought a realistic dog suit and is walking around as a dog? And I don't mean like
I've seen that.
I mean like he looks like a border collie. Honest to God, he's crawling around on all fours constantly. You've seen that, Raysean? Oh my God, it's so off-putting. It's like uncanny valley. It's like when you look at something, it's like too realistic, but also like not realistic. It's fucking freaky.
Yeah. Something tells me that man really liked being a furry, but then quickly got burned out on it and was like, how can I make this more realistic than it already was? Because I'm tired of looking like a fucking Six Flags mascot. I want to look like my actual border collie from when I was a child and take on that as my new persona. Yo, you answer your question. No, all right, go ahead. Answer the question, right? I got a question before we wrap this one, though.
Yes, I could date a furry.
Could you?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
the kind that likes to fuck in the suit, though?
Or just the kind that likes to wear the butt plug with the tail?
I think it depends on the animal.
Okay. This is actually leading me into the perfect question, which I already had, right? If you have, I'm not going to make you pick a name, okay? Because people put a lot of thought into their persona name. However, they also put a lot of thought into like what animal their persona is.
I have an answer.
So like one of my friends, their persona for a long time was like a white fox or some shit. I don't know. And another one of my friends is a red panda. Those cute little things that stand up and they're like, oh, I'm big with my little paws and I'm from Japan. And I think Mario had a suit in Super Mario 3 after me. I don't know that for a fact, but what would your persona animal type be?
I would also be a fox. Foxes are the most attractive animals, if you were to ask me. Not that I'm attracted to animals, but I just feel like you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I do know what you're saying. It sounds like you want to fuck a fox and you got a thing for Maid Marian. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean though? Like there's just something about him. Zootopia, that fox is hot, kind of.
Dude, in all seriousness, Zootopia is like a fucking
the furry anthem.
It is a big deal to furries when that movie came out.
No,
like,
I know.
It was a big deal then. Like people in their furry costumes went then, and it still is. Yeah, like those characters are held up as icons. I spent a lot of time talking about furries on this show. I'm just trying to spread awareness about my two friends who are furries. Trying to normalize it.
Like if I have to know this, everyone has to know this.
Basically,
I think it's interesting.
All right, so Kelly is a fox. Raysean, what do you think?
Yeah.
I would want to be like a bird type of thing, but I feel like I don't have the shape for that. So I guess I would have to be like
could be an owl. They're birds. They're a little bit round, you know what I mean?
I think that'd definitely be very unique because you don't see a lot of that.
I like birds. Kangaroo, maybe?
Dude, that'd be sick as fuck. Think about it too.
In real life.
You'd be like you'd have like a very practical furry suit too, because you got the pouch and shit. You could just put your stuff in there.
Shit in there.
Yeah,
That would be
Easy
dope.
dick access through the pouch.
Damn, Cal. All right, so we
It's the fuck suit and the good suit.
we got a fox, we got a kangaroo, and I'll go with
a snow bear.
I was gonna say bear. Yeah, it's snow because I'm
polar
white.
bear. Why I say snow bear?
I was thinking, what the heck is that?
Snow bear. No, I'm not a polar bear. I'm actually a snow bear. I don't live in either of the polar ice caps. Fuck all that. It's too cold there. However, I do like snow and I do like cocaine. So snow bear it is. Nice. It's actually a joke. I've never done cocaine. But if I were a bear, I do all the cocaine I can get my hands on. My bare hands on.
Yeah. They already made a book. Yep. Cocaine bear.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Good.
So it works out.
Okay. Bear, fox, kangaroo. With our powers united, we could probably blend in well at a furry convention.
Yeah. We could
also, this lady should probably we're not going to open up a zoo, just the three of us. We'd have to work over.
Oh yeah, this lady though, like
yeah,
I think it's more concerning that your husband's deleting messages and you think he might be cheating on you. I think that's slightly more concerning, but yeah, if you're super not into it,
that leads into the cheating, you would think.
Yeah.
The message deleting, I don't like that.
Yeah, not only is he most likely fucking around on you, but he's most likely doing it with a dude in a fox suit. So maybe
just imagine waking up like you're with your spouse, y'all been together for 5 years, and you just wake up and they in like a gorilla suit, like so crazy.
What is that? Like a gorilla suit or something?
I was just gonna say,
Raysean, do you not know what a furry is? What is that, like the gorilla suits or something? I think about that line at least once a week.
Oh my god, me too. It was so classic.
So funny.
We were like, no.
Nope, that's not it. Hilarious that you thought it was though. All right, so yeah. I'm a snow bear. She's a fox. Raysean's a kangaroo. This dude is probably almost getting his dick sucked by like an otter or something in the furry convention scene. And this girl should think about maybe embracing her first divorce and moving on to her second marriage.
I thought you were going to say embracing her persona. And I was like, whoa, we're trying to convert her into it. What's going on?
I mean, if you want to open up and really love your husband, sometimes.
Listen. I feel like I agreed with Kyle. I'm like, maybe I could maybe overlook it if someone I was like really in love with and were married was suddenly into this, kind of depending, But sometimes you're just not compatible with the person really anymore, and then that's that,
Sometimes you find that. Sometimes you find out that you're not compatible in really strange circumstances, and this happens to be a wonderful example. So, good luck, True Off My Chester. I the asshole for telling my daughter that she is smart and hardworking, but not gifted? My wife and I both have electrical engineering degrees, but I no longer work in the field and am a manager. We have a daughter, 15 female, and a son, 17 male, and both will be headed to university next month. My son is doing a BA and has not yet picked his major, and my daughter will be studying physics and computer science. My son is also very smart and is a history and language nerd. My daughter is smart and hardworking and is attending college at an earlier age than usual. She was in a school program for gifted kids. We were having a conversation at dinner the other day, and my wife mentioned how proud she was of our daughter and how lucky we were to have gifted children going to good university programs, and how not many people can do what our daughter did. I was also very happy, but I said that while our daughter is really hardworking and smart, I would not say that she is actually gifted, and others can't do it if they put in the same amount of work. That was a very confusing sentence to me. Her school does a lot to try to admit girls into her program, and my wife helped teach her advanced college-level math and physics from an early age. She didn't naturally pick it up on her own. If anything, being a younger applicant with the same credentials probably helped her stand out more for the admissions committee. I have seen how people can ruin their lives overthinking that they are gifted and it going to their head. So I just wanted to caution her about that. Both my wife and daughter are upset at me now. My wife thinks I was trying to put her down, which is not true, and says that she is gifted. Well, my daughter actually agrees with me, but says I should not have said it, as she already knows. Am I the asshole here? It might not come across in the post, but I'm genuinely proud and happy for my kids. And beyond what I described here, there was a lot of complimenting and celebration on my part. Okay.
Man, this is a hard one.
I mean, I think this guy is the asshole, personally. I mean, yeah, the overall message of like thinking that you're special could maybe give you a big head or whatever, but I mean, it is special to be 15 and going to college. That's very young to be getting into college. And this idea of like, well, they do a lot of work to make sure girls get in is dismissive and sexist. And my wife worked hard to teach her college leveled math. Okay, a lot of people can't pick up college level math. A lot of people in college can't do college level math. So I think that, yeah, your daughter is gifted and hardworking and very smart. And if you don't want to shower her with this idea that she's gifted, that's fine. But I think like in a celebratory session, like you're at dinner and all of a sudden your dad's like, well, you're not gifted. Let's just be clear. Like, what an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not the time or the place. Like, have a conversation about it separately. Just, like, you're really smart and advanced, but I don't like the idea of, if we think we're gifted, maybe we think that we're better than other people, and that's not true. That's like a separate conversation to have, not while you're at dinner, like celebrating.
Yeah, congratulations on getting into college. It's all the work that we did as parents and not what you were able to fucking achieve as a 15-year-old girl who's to get admitted into college. Just who's a dickhead.
And they want girls to be in the program, so they made exceptions for you. You stood out because you're a girl. What an asshole. I think. I don't know.
Dickhead. Straight up. Raysean, what do you think?
I like some of the points he brings up. Like saying some of the things like other people could have done that if they worked hard. Basically saying that like hard working could be still seen as like talented and gifted. Well, I guess not gifted, but at least talented. I think it's interesting because you would think they're all about in that area of smartness or I'm not up there, but I'm not gifted, but they have to be all in that area because they all graduated there like physics or electrical engineering, so I would think they're all at least smart. I thought it was interesting when he said his wife taught her the math instead of her picking it up or like she learned it by herself, so it makes me wonder what he sees as like gifted or talented, like somebody just randomly picking up a book and like just knowing it. That's like Einstein brilliant type of smart. So I think that's where he's pinning like gifted and like hardworking. I guess he's seen like her fail and have to learn to really learn how to learn this stuff. But even at a young age, learning college math and like that's impressive. You gotta at least give her props. If you don't want to give her gifted, you got at least you're smart, you're intelligent, you're something, because you're out of the park for me. I think the fact that she was already in the gifted school, I mean, you gotta kind of give her the title. I know that's kind of a little out there. You still kind of bad, and like she got some acknowledgement for it. So I feel like
so
you're in the gifted program, but you're not gifted.
I think we're talking about two different things here, I think. And when I read the title of the post initially, I was like, no, this guy's not an asshole. When I read all the details about it, I'm like, dude, you're definitely an asshole. So it's two different things, right? It's one, is she gifted or is she not gifted, right? That's the first question. And the second question is, was he an asshole or not for saying this? I'm kind of inclined to agree with him. Like, what's the phrase? Hard work trumps talent when talent fails to work hard. Like you can will yourself through to some amazing places with hard work, especially if it's instilled in you at a super young age. You can do that. And for him to point that out, I don't think he's wrong. I think like when he thinks gifted, he's thinking like some Rain Man fucking casino odds shit. Like somebody who has that innate superpower-ish kind of ability to do something. That's somebody who's gifted. She's somebody who's outworked literally all of her fucking peers. All right. And that's why she is where she is. Good for her. So is she gifted? Is she super hardworking? I'm willing to say super hardworking over gifted. That's why I was like, is he an asshole when I read the post? Or when I read the title of the post, not the details of it. I was like, probably not. He's just trying to instill in his kid that there's always, like me and Raysean talked about yesterday, there's always a bigger fish out there. Don't like let your eggs don't count your eggs before they hatch. Like there's, you're gifted, sure, but like there's always somebody more intelligent out there than you, right? That was a Dragon Ball thing that we were talking about, by the way. But when you give this comment that you made to her in the context of everything that she just got finished accomplishing, it's like, dude, you can't just celebrate your daughter for one fucking day. You gotta say this shitty thing to her in the midst of all this positive, amazing stuff she just got done with. You're like, by the way, don't you get it twisted. You ain't gifted. Your mother taught you math when you were 12, and you should be thanking your mom for your new position in life. Like, dude, you're a dick. Get the fuck out of here. All right. You can't even put your shit aside for one day just to like do something nice for your kid or like celebrate your kid or whatever. You're a fucking asshole. There's no other way for me to say it. Like, is she gifted? Probably not. Is she super hardworking? Definitely fucking yes. Did she accomplish something that none of us ever accomplished? Few people ever do accomplish? Yes. Could you have just bit your fucking tongue and been happy for your daughter for the day without having to take a stab at her? Yeah, you could have. But the fact that you failed proves to me, at least, that you're a fucking dick. So yeah, fuck this guy.
I wonder what he's comparing her to. I wonder if he's comparing her to himself. Because I guess they all up at that level. He's probably like, well, I'm smarter than her. Like, how is she gifted? Or,
I'm smarter than her. I'm a 40-year-old man. Fuck this stupid ass little 15-year-old kid going to college.
So I wonder like what he's like really like comparing her towards, or his like 17-year-old.
He's projected insecurity on her. He's like, I only got so far with my electrical engineering degree. Don't you go getting ahead of yourself, smart girl, with your big ass fucking brain. Get that brain the fuck out of here. What do you think you're going to do with it? Look at me. You think you're going to go further than me? No, I don't like it. And I don't like you. And you're 15. And I don't care if you were in gifted school and you're going to college at 15. It's because you worked hard and you're not smart. Get out of my face.
I'd like to just also point out that there are a lot of people who do also work very hard and cannot pick up on like math and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's working really hard, but she is also genuinely exceptionally intelligent to be able to process this and do well enough to get into college at the age of 15, I think. Because hard work doesn't always
hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want. It's something.
Work hard.
I just said that.
If you're talented and work hard, there you go.
So I think the most telling part of this entire post, and the saddest part, hands down, bar none, and it is even a further implicator of this dude being an absolute piece of fucking shit, is that this little girl, 15 years old, just got into college. Her dad says this shitty comment about her, and she's like, I know I'm not gifted. I know I just, worked hard, got lucky, whatever combination of the two. So
that was sad.
That's the saddest part of the whole thing, because she already has that deep-rooted insecurity in her where her dad says something shitty about her, despite her just doing this huge accomplishment for somebody her age. And she's like, yeah, it was shitty for you to say. You shouldn't have said it, but I know you're right. Like, how many shitty things has his dad said to his daughter throughout the course of his life that make her feel like that internally, despite getting admitted to college at 15? This guy's a super fucking asshole. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And also, if you reread the first paragraph, it makes it seem like he actually might like his son more, because
I agree.
He's acknowledged that his son is very smart, but he just says she's smart and hardworking. So you know what I mean? It's like, why is he like? Whoa.
I agree. I also got that feeling, and maybe it didn't necessarily, nothing in particular super stood out to me, but I also got the feeling like your daughter's 15 going to college, and like your son's also going to college, but I felt like that too. Like, he likes his son more than he likes his daughter. And I think that he did come off as kind of pretty sexist when he said that stuff about like getting girls into the program, which he thinks helped her. Like,
and she doing harder programs too, though.
I bet you this.
Yeah.
I bet you this dude loved the idea of affirmative action. I bet you he was a huge proponent of affirmative action.
He probably glad they kind of shutting that shit down now.
Well, I mean, they shut it down for like people of color, ladies, poor people. But if you're a rich person, affirmative action completely still exists for you. And yes, it is still very easy for you to get into the universities that you wanted to get into and were likely to get into anyway, because
Daddy will just make a nice donation.
Yeah, legacy admissions, crazy thing. I don't know. I would personally smack this dude in the fucking mouth.
Yeah, same.
If I was sitting at the dinner table with them, dude, I would have been like, "What the fuck is your problem?"
Yeah, read the room. There's a time and a place.
I also have a big fucking issue with biting my tongue when people do shit like that, though. So. Especially if it's not to me directly. If it's to me directly, I have to like think about how I. But if it's somebody else, what the fuck did you? What?
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy. Take your fucking degree and go fucking. I don't know. Fuck yourself. Because I don't have anything else. I don't have anything more constructive for you to go do. I hate this guy. He's an asshole. I agreed with some of the sentiment, but the way in which he chose to express it and where he chose to express it and who he expressed it to. Fuck this dude. Fuck him. Punch him right in his fucking dick.
In the asshole.
I've been hearing that about yourself too.
I don't know. All right, fuck this guy. I'm mad talking about him. And I honestly rolling into the next segment, which I'm probably going to get all heated up about now too. I just remembered what it was as I pulled it up. We should probably just cap it off right here. I say he's an asshole. Kel says he's an asshole. Raysean, did we sway you, or do you think he's still in the right?
I like some of his points. I feel like if he worded them differently, I could have been on his side. But the way he came at his daughter, I mean, I feel like if I was in the room, I probably would have been like, damn. Oh, yeah, I call him asshole.
Imagine if you and I were both in the room and I heard him say this shit and then I started screaming at him and then you were like, damn, like a double damn.
Like, damn.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't be as quiet as that. It'd be like forceful, like, damn, Carl's going in on this dude. I might have to fucking put up some dukes soon. We're gonna beat this old guy up, and then
I always say damn low so y'all can keep going. I don't want to interrupt. I just want to be like, damn.
Yeah.
It's an acknowledgement that I see what's going on.
Damn. Oh, that's the wrong number. Raysean, you got the last one, dude. It's r/ask Reddit.
All right, for our Ask Reddit, what pushed you away from your ex best friend?
I thought that this would be a good light way to round out the episode. In reality, this would have been a much better starter than a finisher, but let's just talk shit on people that we used to be friends with. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Go for it, Kelly. I feel like of all of us, Kelly's had the most ex-best friends.
Well, I have, but most of them were just sad because I grew up and I felt very different. Like, I don't know, some of my friends like matured faster than me, and then they were like more into boys and makeup, and I wasn't, and I felt all different from them. And so some of it was just really depressing. But the one best friend that I had where I had to like actively be like, I don't want to be friends with this person anymore. Is because she was very selfish and toxic. Every interaction between us was always about her and like never about anyone else. And she was a compulsive liar, and an alcoholic, but would lie about that too. And just made every day terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are valid reasons. Like, what did you do? Just stop talking to her?
Yes.
Did she ever say like, hey, why don't we do stuff anymore?
No.
Because you know why?
Why?
She was a fucking self-absorbed, selfish alcoholic bitch.
Exactly.
Probably.
Yeah. She just was like, "Oh, I
Are
can't
we
have
naming
that
names?
person's not gonna." No, we can't name
Okay,
names.
we won't name names
Maybe
today then.
after. But yeah, I genuinely think that she just realized that I was no longer going to like give her
Time of day.
validation.
Um,
Yeah, and I wasn't going to um like let her lie, not just to me, but like to other people. Like I would be around and she would just be like lying to people around us. And then I'd get like roped into it because I was there. And I just wasn't going to do that anymore. I was not into it at all. It was uncomfortable.
What kind of lies are we talking about?
Like lying about, I don't want to get too specific, but like lying about things that happened to her in the past, lying about other friends that we had, lying about where stuff went. Like things would be like borderline stolen. And she would just be like, "Oh, I don't, we haven't seen that in weeks. We don't know what happened to it." And I'd be like, "Girl, be fucking for real. Like, that's not true."
It wasn't stuff that
Um,
she stole from you, but stuff she stole from other people and would loop you in through her lies about it, basically.
yes. And then I would be like involved, and I'm like, "This is so stressful. Why are you doing this?" And kind of for no reason. Like, I just feel like just be fucking honest about shit. So it was just not great. And it's just been better since then.
How
Since
long has
we
it
have
been
not
since you were
spoken.
friends with this person, would you say?
I don't know, like 10 years now.
Okay. Okay.
Mm,
So like post high school, but
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ray, what do you think, dude?
mm, this is an interesting one. I
Are you gonna
think what
are you gonna tell the story about how you backed your Jeep up into your friend's car again and how he hasn't been your best friend ever since because you were really high and you drove away and denied it?
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
I don't know what happened.
I
no,
wasn't even driving that day. I wasn't even there.
I didn't even own a Jeep that day.
yeah, no. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of I am an asshole. That's one thing about me. I've been an asshole all my life. But one thing that pushed me away from what pushes me away from people is one thing I do is I do care a lot about people. Do it's like especially if you are my friend, I will do a lot for you. If you don't reciprocate that to me, then that will really push me away from you. So like I say that's like the only thing that really that pushed me probably away from my last friend because I was like I felt like I did a lot for this person and I've been like, dang, anytime I needed you to do something, you're never there. So I was like, all right, so I might as well just not have you. Like I don't fuck you. But that's all I could think of.
Yeah. It's a valid reason though, you know?
I said it maybe like a month ago on the show, and I think I was mostly serious about it. Probably not 100, but I've had many best friends in my life. I've had multiple best friends at, multiple points in my life, right? Like, I don't like the whole you just have the one best friend. It doesn't fucking make any sense to me. Always had multiple best friends throughout my life, people that I'm genuinely just comfortable with and can share whatever with. But with that said, that also invites a lot of opportunities for falling out with best friends. I don't think I've got a ton, and I don't think any of them are like particularly knockdown, drag out, fallouts or anything like that. But one, I can think of like two in particular where like I'm good with both of the people. Now I'm good with one of them. Many years later, the other one, I don't wish any ill will on the dude, but also I've definitely stopped going out of my way to try to be his friend, and it actually really bothered me for a long time. But it is the first one though is completely all about like drugs, like straight up just corrupted the kid's fucking brain. And
You don't have to talk about oh, I thought you were talking about us. My fault.
No. Did you ever come heroin addict, Raysean? Is that arc still yet to come for you? Yeah, let's hope not, dude. Watching one of your friends slip into heroin addiction is one of the toughest things I've ever had to do in my life. Like a young part of my life too. Like, under the age of 21 on through our early to mid 20s to watch this kid basically try to kill himself every time he got high, and watching it go from, this is what it is to this is how you do it now. And this is how we do it now. And like just watching the physical transformation and all that. And like, I seriously had to say to myself, one, it's not worth being friends with this person because he's constantly ripping you off, constantly lying to you, constantly borrowing money and just whatever. Like, he burned me for a few $100s before I got wise to it, you know? I was like, well, I'm never getting that back. But what sucked about it was, I don't know, like, it really just does. It takes, it's the shell of the person you knew and a completely different person within. And it's just tough to like have to deal with like, you know, what the difference is between those two things. Like, you see the person and you're happy to see them and you're glad nothing's bad has happened to them yet. But it's like, oh, this is literally all you think about 24/7. And it's, you know, you're willing to backstab, steal, whatever to get your shit done. Thank God that person has made a full recovery in his life and is doing a million fucking times better and is still one of my closest friends to this day. But like, when he got clean, it still took us a little while for me to like fully be able to trust him again as a person before I was like, all right, this makes sense. And like, to be fair, like, I'm really tight with his sister as well. And his sister really, because it's her brother, you know, she was much quicker to like welcome him back with open arms than I was. And I was like, I don't know, dude, you be careful with this kid. He's probably just bluffing, and knock on wood, he's been good ever since. And thank God, you know, I don't want it's cool to have your friend back from what you essentially thought was the dead. Because a long time ago, I was like, I'm going to put this kid in the fucking ground at some point in my life. And I haven't. So that's good. That's like the more intense version of, you know, falling out with the best friend. In adulthood, though, I met a person that we had a lot in common right off the bat, like music, nerdy shit across the board. And like, we were real good friends for a real long time, probably the better part of like 4 or 5 years. Like, we did a lot of different projects together and all this stuff. And the long and the short is, like, what I didn't realize about him was that his best friend had moved far away a few years ago before I'd met him. And then when that best friend moved back to town, this person became a ghost to me. And suddenly,
you were like the fill-in friend.
I was the fill-in friend. Unbeknownst to me, I was the fill-in friend for a long time. And, you know, like I said, we did a lot of shit together, like, creatively speaking. But when it got down to me continuing to ask to like, hey, what do you do? And, you know, you want to do this, you want to do that. He's always busy. I was doing whatever, not always with his other best friend or whatever, but just too busy to do anything. And I was like, all right, I kind of get the point. And then they started to ask me to do favors for them after I was like so blatantly ignored for the better part of a year, just because like I have a certain set of skills that were particularly useful to them in that scenario. So they were like, oh, let's call Kyle up. And I was like, dude, I spent the last like 2 years getting blown off by you and not hearing from you for like months and months and months at a time. Fuck you. I'm all set with doing you a favor, dude. We stopped doing each other favors a long time ago. So that one hurt for different reasons. It wasn't drugs. It was just like, oh, I understand. I understand my place now in your circle, I guess. I've had at least like 1 or 2 similar kind of circumstances to that. I'm thinking of one specific person when I say all of that, but I've had a couple of similar circumstances to that too. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's a natural thing, and it's like you work with somebody. Like my buddy, I'll say his name, my buddy Chris Slattery. Like, he and I were the bestest of friends for like 2.5 years because we worked together back to back at an office job. And when I see that dude, it's like going right back to then, and like whatever it is, it is. But we don't talk every day. We talk like a few times a year. Do I still love him like my own brother? Hell yeah, I do. Do I have a reason to hit him up every day? Not really, no. Do I wish him ill? No way. I wish him all the love in the world. That's like the best case scenario for drifting apart from a best friend. The other 2 I described are things I am bothered by. Mostly. Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me do therapy, guys. I appreciate it. What do you got, Cal?
Yeah. Well, we weren't best friends, but I had this girl that I was becoming very close friends with. And when we would hang out, it was so fun. We had a great time, right? And then she kind of stopped talking to me so much. And so finally I was like, hey, because I think I'm kind of emotionally mature. So I was like, hey, I can tell that like something's going on. Did I upset you in some way? Like, I obviously can't fix it or address it if I don't know what it is. Like, what's going on? And one of the things is that, so she was very religious, and I am very much so not so. And that doesn't bother me. Like, and I don't think that people who are religious are like silly. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it was fine with me. I didn't care that she was religious. But sometimes she would bring stuff up and I would just joke about it a little bit because she's bringing it up and I'm not religious, so I'm going to make a joke out of it. And she was talking about religious music she likes. And I told her that my favorite religious song was Sanctified by like Rick Ross. And
I don't know the song, but just the fact that it's a Rick Ross song is all I need to know.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds a little gospel-y, you know, but it's definitely not really a religious song. And I guess that she like listened to it later and then was so like super offended about that joke and told me she couldn't be friends with me anymore because I laugh about her and her religion. And so then I was like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. It's clearly not my intention to do that. And she was like, well, I don't think that it's good for my faith for us to be friends anymore. It's like, okay. And that was that.
I would have just said, fuck yourself. You can have your religion and you're still an asshole. Fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't take a joke.
Sorry.
You know, I'm pretty sure God can take a joke. So
tell that church bitch to go eat a Bible dick or something. I'm sure they got dicks in the Bible. She just ain't looking hard.
And I want to hit her with, and you're just a filler friend.
How many times have I been the filler friend in my life? Like, I understand that I'm emotionally versatile.
I don't think I've ever been a filler friend.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, you never know. In my opinion, I've never been a filler friend. Somebody else can be like,
I'm deeply insecure. So like Shauna has been my best friend for so long and she's like my ride or die friend. And if something ever happened to her, I'd like kill myself. And then sometimes though I'm like, you like me, right? We're like friends, right?
I mean, Shauna's a real bitch. I love Shauna. She used to be my neighbor.
Yeah, me too.
I saw Ray actually very recently over the 4th.
Oh, really? I saw them just the other day.
Shout out to Shauna and Ray. We love you guys.
Shout out to Shauna and Ray.
I think, you know, who needs best friends when you got the Advice Pod? That's how I feel
best friends? Personally
inside of my heart. Because when I say we've got the Advice Pod, I mean, I got Kelly and Raysean.
Oh, stop it.
Got you, bitches.
I was going to say, who needs best friends when you can just talk out loud to yourself? Like, we all do. We can just be our own best friends.
Like we do on this podcast. Yep. I mean, we are kind of having a conversation, but sometimes we are just talking out loud to ourselves. So, you know, it's a balancing game. So that's fun. It's fun.
A little of both.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
No. When we stop recording or at the end, I'll tell you who that friend was.
Oh, good.
I'm curious.
I am kind of curious.
Okay. You definitely know them.
Oh, sick, dude. I can't wait to talk some shit.
There's more details that I just can't say because it's too specific.
Perfecto, correcto. All right, well, that's going to do it for advice. Make sure you rate and subscribe wherever you're listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video. Leave your comments down below about some of your own answers for this episode. Like, do you talk to yourself? What would you do if your husband was suddenly a furry and trying to get his GIF on? How about, was that dude a dickhead for telling his daughter that she wasn't gifted? Obviously, yes, he was. And then, you know, what's your ex-best friend story? Did you have somebody get addicted to heroin or reveal that you were their fill-in best friend for several years while their real best friend lived several states away? Tell us in the comments. We want to hear about it. We are coming up on episode 50 pretty soon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Don't be a butt cheek.
Jesus Christ, Raysean, I wasn't done yet, but we are coming up on episode 50 pretty soon. I think that might be around the good mark to try to collect some feedback on just previous posts. And
okay,
I don't know. That's a lot of extra work, though. I don't know if I can put things on a list in a document somewhere. But, you know, you guys start letting us know what you think and we can go back and comment on them. Okay?
Maybe we can do like an Ask Us Anything.
What are they going to ask us?
I know, nothing.
All of the
we
opinions.
say everything.
Yeah. Literally, you don't have to ask us anything, and we will tell you about the thing that you didn't ask about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Raysean,
don't be a butt cheek.
Fuck yeah.